Peace be upon you all, and welcome to English Storytime. Today's story is about a remarkable example of resilience, faith, and the mysterious ways in which justice can unfold. It begins in Iraq in the year 1965. A judge recorded this story in his diary, a tale that happened to one of his own neighbors. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss another inspiring story. Let's dive into today's tale. In the year 1965, there was a poor family living in Iraq, held together by one devoted father who worked tirelessly to support them. This father was the sole breadwinner, supporting his wife, 3 young children, his 2 sisters, and his elderly mother, who had all been left to his care after his father's passing. He owned a modest vegetable stand, where he sold produce to earn a little money each day. His family lived off whatever he could bring home, often food nearing expiration, which he would bring home to cook. The kids would cheer as he arrived each evening with whatever he had managed to gather. It was a simple life, yet the father's dedication brought joy to them all. A judge, who lived next door, would often hear the sounds of laughter and children playing in the house. He saw how the family shared little moments of happiness in their humble home, and he couldn't help but feel connected to them. But then one day, everything changed. The judge returned home to hear screams and cries of sorrow instead of the usual laughter. When he went outside to see what was happening, he saw soldiers carrying a coffin. The family was heartbroken. The father had died unexpectedly in an accident. The mother, children, sisters, and grandmother were all weeping. They had depended on him completely, and now he was gone. Over the next few days, the family struggled to survive. Their small savings quickly ran out. They faced a tough decision: either face starvation or find a way to earn money. The eldest son, just 15, bravely stepped up. He left school to take over his father's small stand, determined to provide for his family. 3 years passed. The son worked hard, but times remained difficult. He had managed to keep his family alive, but they were barely getting by. Then, the government summoned him for military service. Given the family's desperate situation, this news came as a devastating blow. Without him, there would be no income, and they risked losing everything. Still, they saw no other option, so they sent him off to serve, praying that somehow, they would find a way to survive. The young man's new life in the army was difficult. One day, during training, an officer noticed that the young man was frequently distracted, lost in his thoughts. The officer scolded him several times, but his mind was always with his family. Eventually, the officer inquired about his background, and after learning of his family's situation, felt pity for him. He arranged for the young man to work in the army's kitchen instead of in active combat. This way, he could at least keep his mind at peace. Back home, the family's struggles only intensified. The mother knew that without her son's help, they couldn't last long. Desperate, she decided to sell the only thing they had left, their home. She went to a local businessman, agreeing to sell their house at a low price with the condition that she would have enough money to buy her son's release from military service. The businessman gave her a month to settle the paperwork. The mother worked day and night, managing to finalize everything with only 1 day to spare. She took the money and headed to a distant city to arrange her son's release, carrying all her hopes in a bundle of cash. On that journey, however, she faced an unexpected challenge. As she arrived at the station to catch a taxi, there were no cars willing to take her so late at night. She ended up offering to pay the fare for multiple passengers to persuade a driver. Eventually, a taxi driver agreed, and she climbed into the car, relieved to be on her way. As they traveled, the driver asked why she was paying so much. The mother, not suspecting anything, shared her story with him, explaining that the money was meant to release her son. But upon hearing about her cash, the driver's mind turned sinister. He suddenly pulled over by a deep valley, dragged her from the car, and threw her down, planning to take her money and leave her for dead. He climbed down to retrieve the cash from her, then drove away, leaving her in the dark. The mother lay there, her body injured and bleeding. She could barely move but clung to life, holding on to the hope of seeing her son freed. Throughout the night, she prayed, calling on God for strength and mercy. And against all odds, she survived the night. The next morning, fate intervened. The same driver, sent back to the city by his dispatcher, found himself compelled to check on the woman. When he climbed down to see if she was still there, he was met with an unexpected sight. The woman was alive. Furious, he picked up a rock to finish what he had started. But as he raised the stone, a snake suddenly struck him, delivering a fatal bite. His screams attracted the attention of other drivers, who rushed down and found him next to the injured woman. They took both to the hospital, where the driver succumbed to the venom. The woman, however, survived. She shared her story with the hospital staff, and they were able to return her stolen money. She made it just in time to pay the army to release her son. The son came to her bedside, his heart full of gratitude and admiration. After her recovery, he worked hard and started a new vegetable business. Over the years, his hard work paid off. The family prospered. His siblings completed their education, with one becoming a doctor, another an engineer, and another joining the army. And that, my friends, is the incredible story of a mother's love, faith, and resilience, proof that, even in the darkest moments, light and hope are never truly out of reach. And with that, our story comes to an end. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, take care, and may peace be upon you all.